Sound Defense here has a PB of 126.42, so. Awesome. So, the first kingdom we get shoved into, there's like kingdom in a sense, and you kind of just get placed down. It's called the Cap Kingdom. All the people who live here are these little cap ghost dudes. I think they're really cute. And one of them, named Cappy, is going to be our companion for the rest of this hour and a half, so.
Yeah, I had asked Sound Defense for his PB in chat, so that's how we found out. Jelluh. Oh, they're both messing up a bit on movement there, I think, right?
Not most optimal.
Okay.
In a lot of this game, players will be rolling from point A to point B most likely. You'll see Jelluh do it on this bridge right here with all the yellow sparks, and that's actually the fastest way to move around. So, more yellow sparks you see, the better. Jelluh is using motion controls to roll, which gives yellow sparks every time, and Sound Defense is just pressing the button. So his rolls are going to be a little bit slower.
Yeah. But another thing about this is just, so we're just basically Sonic now. Just, okay, a joke fell flat, I guess.
That bad. Tough crowd.
Well, it's a crowd of one until the audience gets to hear it. Oh, come on, we gotta support each other. Okay, so we're coming up on the first brutal fight. This is Topper. Pretty simple boss fight.
Most of the boss fights in this game is if you blink, you'll miss it. There's usually a ton of skips for their attack cycles and just hitting them quickly and stuff. So the small bosses will take around 20 seconds when we fight them, and then the bigger ones will take around a minute, but we still do them in the most optimal way possible, hopefully.
And this one takes 10 seconds. Maybe.
Yeah, I think if in my Cap Kingdom splits, I'd say it's like 10 or 11 seconds. Cycles. Then we refight him actually in a later kingdom, and so each mini boss, each brutal in the game, and so we skip some of them, but you'll get to see everyone. There with the chain chomp, but looks like he's done it, and Jelluh has collected for the moon, believe it or not. It's called Our First Power Moon. It's in Japanese, which is the fastest language to run this game in. So, thanks for doing that, but it is called in English Our First Power Moon. Just take my word for that.
My word as well, because I'll agree with them. So now we're gonna do some. After this cutscene that we got here, we're gonna get some movement to capture the T-Rex on this island or kingdom, and from there we're gonna use it to jump off a trampoline and skip right to the boss.
Passes over the trampoline there in his first go. It's pretty precise. The hitboxes are not what they seem to be, so it looks like he's taking a bit slower. He's gonna have the distance.
Yes, just barely makes it. Sound Defense gets out a first try. That's gonna make up some time for him.
Fight's one of the harder ones, I would say, in the game. Just you got to know your spacing, cause
yeah, you do.
And then you don't want to be backed up against a wall.
Yeah, to get the timing down for when he throws the chain jump back, when she throws the chain jump back out, and do that. It takes a bit of practice, and also there's apparently ways to like lead her into certain areas so that you can always get like a max distant, like far enough away from her with the chain jump to actually have it fly back at her, as well, I believe. So
a couple setups.
Yeah, so you have to do a bit of movement manipulation as well.
If you practice it enough, it'll become sort of second nature. You'll find your own little setups here, but separating these runners coming out of Cascade shortly, so. Nice movement there from Jelluh, getting that last power moon.
So now, yeah, so we just got our last power moon of Cascade, not its actual name.
Odyssey. So the way this game works with traveling from kingdom to kingdom is that each kingdom has a moon requirement that you need to travel to the next one. So to collect a certain amount of stars, or moons I should say, in each kingdom to progress. So if some kingdoms have slow moons that we can't really avoid, we're gonna have to go through those because there's no set requirement for unlocking the Moon Kingdom. It's just all the requirements. So we'll see some kingdoms take longer than others simply because it's slower and more inconvenience to collect.
So now heading into Sand Kingdom, we're pretty much going to see one of many routes here. It depends on what we get. We're probably going to see 2 different routes from these 2. Who knows?
Yeah, going
sure,
on.
As I'm sure you heard before from many commentators before us, Sand Kingdom is incredibly varied. And that,
what was I about to say?
Now go.
Exactly what I was about to say there. It's just, you'll see different routes from everybody. SoundDefense going for a relatively new hard jump here, struggling a bit for employees only, an older route, but whatever works for the runner. And
yeah, all of these routes have no more than probably like 15 seconds between each other. So, which isn't a huge amount in a race scenario, considering all the bonks and such that the other person could do during their mess ups, during their route. So it's pretty much just whatever you're used to in this scenario. Getting on top of a dune on the first try, good job there. And now TheSoundDefense is just waiting for this bird. Might not be the smartest idea. He maybe could have replaced that with the Oasis bird. I don't know what he's doing later in the route, but it makes more sense to me.
Route from SoundDefense here. Forever. You know, that's the cool thing about these races is that you'll see just different moon orders coming out from everybody here. So the Sand Kingdom here is pretty much gonna look similar from both players. The route differences really come in at the beginning and the end. So Jelluh here is gonna get this checkpoint, and my prediction is he's gonna go for this Flowing Sands moon. Get out of the pipe, go right to the Sphinx moon, and then get the Sphinx, and then warp back to that checkpoint. Something I used to do when I ran, so here.
He might do that and then get the luggage, those Sphinx that get the luggage one, and then warp back. Or okay, not Sphinx at all. Which... Or maybe he's turning around for it, we'll see.
Sure.
No, he's not. So that means that he's probably skipping Sphinx, so he's gonna have to watch his coins.
I think if you're already gonna go out from Flowing Sands there, Sphinx is that much slower than luggage. I mean, there's a loading zone. 5 seconds slower, but then you don't have to worry about coins at all, so...
Yeah.
Coming up on a tight trick here from Jelluh.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. All things considered, I probably would have gone for Sphinx Clip. Or not Sphinx Clip, just regular Sphinx there. And yeah, once you mess up that Jaxie skip, there is no recovering from it.
Checkpoint there, because I know I just had a race and I didn't get the checkpoint, so then you gotta go all the way back from the start. But us there. So you're opting to skip the Sphinx, you know. Something that I wouldn't recommend, especially in a race, since it does 4 to 5 seconds to just make sure that you're not going to mess up later in the run. And we're worrying about coins so much just because we have to buy 2 moons from the shops in certain kingdoms, and so in each kingdom there's, or most kingdoms, the ones we're going through, not any of the unlockable ones, but all the ones that we go for here have a shop that costs 100 coins each. We need to buy 2 moons, and so we need 200 coins. And so runners, if they don't opt to go for the Sphinx, will have to grab some coins on the side, get some coins in boss fights, stuff like that.
Sound Defense having some trouble with this Jaxie skip. And as I said before, there is no way of getting out of dying if you mess up Jaxie skip, so you might as well just ground pound as soon as you fail it to die quicker.
Let's see if we can get a 3rd try here. Three more moons left from Sound Defense, so we're gonna see Cactus here, and then taking notes, and he'll be finishing up sand shortly. Moving on to the Lake Kingdom.
And Sound Defense also skipped Sphinx, so both runners are going to be having to probably do Seaside before Snow, and just in general be looking for coins and trying to get as many coins as they can. Just until I get to 200, of course. And maybe a little more so that you can account for dying.
Speaking of coins, Jelluh's only sitting at 83, so he's gonna have to pick up some ones in Lake here so he can have enough.
Yeah, because the first moon that we do purchase is in the next kingdom, being Wooded Kingdom. So, definitely need to be able to get those few coins. That's what we need.
Here he's got 97, so should be enough.
Yeah, you can get some coins in the Rango fight.
Struggling to get a cheap here, but does manage to grab it, and so...
The earlier you get that cheap, the better, because he is the fastest way of moving in the water. So, lost a bit of time, but not really a huge deal.
A lot more time is coming up in just a second here with a little bit of a risky jump. It's one of those where if you practice it a lot, then... But you can still just kind of flub it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, kind of a slight sequence break almost even. Okay, so yeah, nailed it first try.
He's got 102 coins, so he'll be good. Really nice boss fight there, dang.
Yep, that was pretty much picture perfect, or however else you want to call it.
Separating these runners right now, assuming SoundDefense can have a really nice late kingdom.
Yeah, so SMO had a bit of a disadvantage at that point because if he was using motion controls, he would be able to do a homing cap throw, and probably have been able to capture that Jeep sooner.
I wonder if he just doesn't know about it. Controls in the game exist and like they're useful. Or I wonder if he elects not to use them. It's definitely a weird choice, especially since he has like a 126 without the use of motion controls at all.
It's a pretty good time considering no motion controls.
Fast rolling does save, I'd say, probably like close to a minute throughout the entire run.
Yeah. Oh, messing up the quick kill. And now this is where Rango can get a bit dangerous, is when you let him jump around like this.
Yep. A decent boss fight there. I mean, obviously missed a cycle, but wasn't bad other than that quick recovery. And as we mentioned earlier, Jelluh is buying his first shot moon. Dusa is left with the measly 4, but it's enough.
Yep, as long as we can get 100, 96 more coins. Not 196, just 96. Within like 3 kingdoms, I believe.
He's got Cloud, which doesn't have any coins. Lost has a couple. Coins in Seaside.
Then Metro, and then Seaside, and then Snow, because he's probably going to go Seaside first. So it's about actually 4 kingdoms if we're not going to count Cloud, because it's not really going to be much help for coins.
Get coins in Cloud, to be honest. It's in Cloud Kingdom.
Very good, Bunny there. I was expecting that to give him a bit more trouble now that he's not, because he's not using homing.
Did say in Twitch chat that he is using motion controls, but they're being a pain, so...
Well, I understand that, like, even if he's trying to use them, because he can't, or is having trouble using them, he basically just doesn't have a homing there. So,
definitely.
Still, it was a good bunny moon. I'd say take the compliment, but it's not for you. But.
Wooded. Unlike Sand's really the only kingdom where you'll see a huge difference in routing. Wooded, I mean, there's one minor thing I would say to go for the flooded pipeway, but other than that, everything's going to be basically the same.
Yeah, going for the fuzzy area first, which is what I believe Sound Defense is doing right now.
See how Jelluh approaches this moon. Definitely a good call in the race. Pipe away from Sound Defense there, not taking damage. Which does waste time. Paying super close attention, you'll see that moons do heal you, but there is a cutscene for that, and it's 2.2 seconds exactly.
Wow, coming out here with the decimals. I didn't even know that much about it. I thought I'd just say 2 seconds.
I don't know. It's 2.2. I mean, I've timed it because my in real life friends like to track how many bonks I have during runs and stuff like that. Figured out that it's 2.2 seconds to heal from 2 hearts to full. To heal from 1 heart to full, and then 1.9 seconds for the bonk animation to finish. So get a lot of flack from them, but
does it take less time if you have 2 hearts to full?
Seconds, because it's not that bad because it's still gonna do the entire cutscene. It just doesn't have to fill 1 more bar, so it takes a little bit less time. 2 seconds. Jelluh unfortunately screwing up that fight a little bit to stomp on his hat to stop the attack cycle, but still in the lead, not a huge mistake. Defense. Going for those risky strats I was talking about earlier. Yeah.
He made the jump and then he just ended up, I guess, going too far there.
Yeah, it'll happen a lot. You make the hard part, miss the easy part. Pretty nice time. Kingdom. On the map, you'll see you can't read it unless if anyone here can read Japanese. I know I can't, but it does say Metro Kingdom. But you know he's Bowser. Bowser's in this game, so he's gonna be a little prick. Interrupt us.
I knew he was gonna bonk.
Unfortunate.
I saw as soon as he started that roll, I was like, that is not the right trajectory.
Hard to control while rolling. Really the only way to do it is to stop shaking or stop pressing the button entirely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oof, Jelluh getting hit there. Looks like he dived a bit too high. Twice, oof, he's gotta be careful now. But we're going for a cycle skip. And as you saw there, Bowser did jump around to a couple of the platforms there, shot out some fire rings. So hopefully Jelluh will be able to nail the next 2 cycle skips. Aim to capture Bowser's hat, and then hold it until he gets close enough to punch Bowser before he's able to jump. Mid-jump, but it's good enough.
And he's got a good opportunity to get this heart that he just had, that he just released from a hat before. Maybe get another one as well. Yep. Okay. Although, actually, he's not going to be able to get this one if he gets this.
Oof. Unfortunate, missing that cycle again. Get close enough, sort of on the slope. But if you get too close, right next to Bowser, and then bring your hat back, Bowser will actually take your hat from you. Close, but you also can't get too far away, so it's just practice.
Someone proposed to call that a yoink, and I pretty much agree with that. It makes sense.
I've never heard that, but
One of the other commentators said it during a race. Oh, yeah, it definitely does make sense to call it a yoink. So now ending up in Lost Kingdom, we're going to start off with a complex jump that takes a few definitely takes a bit of time to master. I believe he just nailed it.
Nice, that was really close.
Wow. So yeah, there's two ways of doing that. You can start the triple jump on the tree leaf, or use your cap bounce to count as the first jump for the triple jump, which is what Jelluh did there. And from there, you just finish the triple jump, and then just double cap dive over.
Also, a safer strat to climb that mountain using. See on the right here in a second.
Ooh, that is not good.
Oh, and I was just about to bring up that it was really good loss from him so far.
Yeah.
Apparently, just thinking about it.
Yet again, another case of, just by the way, once you fall down, there is no way to not get Klepto to trigger there. Because I'm pretty sure it gets, like, the area of effect for Klepto gets even bigger if you fall, or something like that. It's weird.
So, what the runners try and do here, and what you'll see everyone do it, is, and then what Jelluh was trying to do is go around and actually face this bird Klepto in the face and trigger his attack sequence. Close enough to make the bird think that he already had Cappy, which, you know, we know that he didn't, because Cappy's still in our head.
Oh, no, he has it.
Yep.
So now a rarity in speedruns there, in speedruns of this game, we actually get to hear the Lost Kingdom music. Maybe we'll just give it some glory.
SMO tree jump as well, so if he is able to not trigger Klepto, he'll save a bit of time.
It's actually a really good song, so it's sad that we don't get to hear a lot of it.
Kingdom, like I think the way it was built on just things taking your hat from you, and just the art style in general, and the music in this game, just the music always fit, and the art styles were always crazy cool.
Okay, now getting this last moon. Bit of a difficult jump. Was an interesting way of getting it. I think that was probably unintentional.
SoundDefense, if any of you guys were watching that, he's very close to dying. Bonked on the jump, just barely. I don't know how he stayed alive. Every single time I bonk there, I've died. So I gotta take notes from this man here.
Yeah, I was gonna comment on it, but I figured you probably had it, and also I was already concentrating on Jelluh, so.
Now we finally get to move on to Metro Kingdom.
Yep, it gets teased. Yeah, the kingdom gets teased, and then we finally go to it.
But we don't start off in what looks like Metro Kingdom. And everything, but it's pretty dark, pretty rainy. Rainy Metro, and we have to fight what's known as Mecha Wiggler before we can progress to the main kingdom, I should say. And so, you know, most runners, this boss is not very forgiving. up here.
It's also a third name for it, being Night Metro. And so yeah, this jump is a bit complicated. Nails it the first try. And then this is another complex one.
Yeah, really nice there from Troy getting her, not from Troy, from Jelluh getting that first try.
Oh, thanks, Weinberg. Oh, okay, so not gonna long jump over to the next building. Guess maybe it's like a safer strategy.
It is a race, so I'd assume he knows he's winning because it's not conventional to do that there, but...
So now Sound Defense is going to start off his Metro. And we got Jelluh doing some complex movement inside Town Hall here. Very smooth. Let's see if Sound Defense can get this jump. Also Jelluh getting that jump. Okay. Sound Defense opting to take the safer route of getting to the sandwich pillar by jumping onto the building first. And Jelluh missing the long jump across the way. So luckily there is a way to recover from it, as you just saw there. But it's still costs you some time. Nails it the second try. Now Sound Defense coming for the chest inside the Town Hall. I don't know the name of this one. I think it's something close to that. And now we're gonna start the fight onto the Mecha Wiggler. And both runners are gonna be trying to go for a 2-cycle. Meaning the second time it gets on the wall to kill it during that cycle and not letting it do this attack pattern right that you're seeing right now. A third time. Or, sorry, a second time. It would be doing the attack pattern a second time. This is gonna cut it close. Oh, I just missed the one. So now Sound Defense in the same fight, so if he's able to get a 2-cycle here, he'll definitely be able to catch up, maybe even be in the same spot. Maybe we may get synced up, I'm not sure. Sound Defense misses it. Okay. As Jelluh is completing this boss now, and then we'll be going into Day Metro or Standard Metro.
Sorry, I had to dip out for a second there, but and correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like both runners 3-cycled Mecha Wiggler.
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, put some, I'd say around part missing that cycle. A close race here.
Okay, not going for this homing trick, and Sound Defense might not go for it either. Basically, if you hold your cap right by the spark, but don't capture it, and then go for this moon, the moon underneath that pillar, you can then use homing cap to capture the spark and not have to walk all the way back to the pylon. The spark pylon.
Yeah, saves a couple seconds, but you know, everything counts. Nice there from Jelluh. We'll see if Sound Defense can have a good RC car here. It's really harder than it looks with the...
Just barely missed that.
It's really close.
Controlling the car in reverse is not the easiest thing.
There we go.
He turned it around, so he didn't have to deal with the annoying controls of left is right and right is left.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy hard. You can practice it like a million times, and then something like things like that.
Jelluh trying to do some fancy strats to get up to the top of this spire. Nails that one. Missed the dive earlier.
Skis, so don't know why he'd go for it in a race. Personal opinion, at least. Save like a second or two, but
yeah, he's got the lead.
Yeah.
Ah, taking the risk. Does not get it. So the way you figure out where that moon is based on the people, which do not load in until you get to a certain distance away from the from that moon. So to do it from the top of the jump there is a bit of a risk, but of course it would save time if you nail it. Sound Defense taking a painful bonk there, having to go to a checkpoint now.
Unfortunate. There's just that secret room there, Jelluh, with a little bit of difficulty, but not too bad.
And now to get the blessed moons of Metro.
Oh, best part of the run, hands down.
Meow.
A couple bonks on the way to these moons over here.
Yay!
And with OTEP there, it's their last moon in Metro Kingdom for Jelluh, and he will be moving on to... Depends on his coin count. Willing to bet it's Seaside. And it's there.
Yeah, he is not close enough to 100. I would not risk it. I was just go to Seaside.
Doesn't lose time, or I mean, I guess a little bit, but those forks in the road where you get to choose between kingdoms, and the only time you're gonna lose is scrolling down while choosing the kingdom. So that was like half a second there.
And now for the silent no tip. It happened in our dreams.
You gotta imagine it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Jelluh went to Seaside.
The moon requirements are per kingdom. So even if he chose Snow first or Seaside first, he's still gonna need the required 10 moons for each of the 2 kingdoms, so whatsoever. Other than scrolling through the menu. Easy, but it wasn't. That I would say is one of the harder jumps. Because you're supposed to use cheap octopus kind of guys in here.
The Gushins.
Yeah, Gushins, whatever their name is. They call them squids.
So defense also going to Seaside.
They're like 3 moons apart right now, so it's definitely still a close race too.
How far apart?
Moons, and so I think...
I believe the start of when you start to speak is cutting out consistently.
I could change that real fast. See, just adjust some sound settings.
You can just use push to talk. That's what I do.
Alright, it should be better. Should have changed it a little bit there, but...
Okay, sound defense messing it up in the first try. So I'll figure out the time difference after he gets this one. Or rather, we'll just say capturing that cheap 4206. Okay.
I'd say at this point it's around a minute. 15 seconds.
It's definitely not that far apart. Like it is definitely a race that sound defense can catch up on.
The moon Jelluh's getting right here is the example of why we go Seaside.
Yeah, so if you're struggling for coins, you go here first because you need because of all those coins in that tunnel.
Sound defense struggling a little bit here with this sort of cave moon. A little bit more behind, but not too bad. Still close. Jelluh got his last moon right there in Seaside, and he does have more than 100 coins, so he is good to move on to Snow and buy that moon. Sound defense capturing his cheap at 43.43, which puts him around a minute and a half behind here.
Not too bad. And yeah, Jelluh pretty much got right after the cheap was pretty much did the exact movement that he needed to do. So it's pretty accurate time difference estimation there. And sound defense making sure to get every last coin in this tunnel, just in case.
And if it'll show his coin count here in a second, he's got 120, so it looks like he's also got enough. Besides one of the faster kingdoms, actually, 10 moons in only around 4 minutes. Pretty well, so
yeah. Of the kingdoms where you collect moons, I think Lost Kingdom was the fastest, I believe, if done correctly.
2.5 minutes. It's really fast.
3 minutes, maybe?
Minutes is a better estimate. 2.5 is like world record pace.
So getting Captain Toad and then going underground to the Snow Town.
Definitely the main part of Snow Kingdom here is Underground Town.
Actually, the above ground is pretty bulky as well. Once you unlock it, that is.
Yeah, good point.
But we won't see it at all, though.
Really, because it is pretty cool. Getting that second shot moon from Jelluh, so it does not have to worry about coins anymore.
Yep, now he's just home free to the final area in terms of coins. Still quite a few tricks that he has to nail.
Yep. Run does not get easier. Weird camera angle, but he's making it work.
Yeah, you're still cutting out in the start of your sentences.
Be something with my internet connection then.
Perhaps. Oh. So yeah, this Taifu room can cause a bit of trouble.
Ooh, unfortunate bonk there. Jelluh's got 3 moons to go here, so we're gonna enter 2 more rooms.
This race is amazing if you love bonks.
This game is amazing if you love bonks.
Very true, but this race in particular has been very bonk. Ah! A lot of bonks. And yeah, so if that Goomba continues to walk off the edge long enough, he'll eventually fall off. Normally they don't fall off edges, but for some reason that Goomba can actually still fall off the edge. Not sure why.
It's happened to me a couple times. The first time I was like super confused. I was like, where'd the Goomba go? They're not programmed to do that. At least I don't think.
No, absolutely not. But for some reason they do. On that one, that Goomba falls off the edge. Yeah, they're programmed to just run at the edge and stay there.
Jelluh died with the intentional death actually to get that Goomba back. SoundDefense did miss a ground pound. And
oh, that's save.
Yeah, missed a ground pound right here. Was a little bit too far left, so he did die in this room, but almost dying twice. Didn't happen there.
Jelluh getting his last moon in I can't speak. Snow Kingdom.
Yep. Gonna move on to Luncheon Kingdom, one of the longer and harder kingdoms of the game.
That's what she said.
Come on.
Hey, it was right there. It was right there.
It was. I put it right out in front of your face.
Yeah, that's what she said. Ah,
stop it! God damn it! Well then, as I was saying, we're going on to Luncheon Kingdom here. It's a kingdom. We'll leave it at that. Not gonna get caught by that again.
Yeah. Difficult kingdom. Say that.
Yes, difficult kingdom.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't have said it if you just said hard. Okay, so yeah, this triple jump can take a few tries to do properly. Gets it on the first try though.
There's actually on the side of Luncheon Kingdom here, these decorative pillars. They do actually stick out from the wall, and so you gotta be careful not to clip on those. Nice boss fight there from Jelluh. Again, second time we see him play. First time we see him there is in Wooded Kingdom, but nice execution.
Yeah, for how we deal with that fight, that is exactly the same fight as it is in Wooded. Only difference is the shape of the arena that you're fighting him in.
Yeah, most bosses will change their attack cycles a bit. For example, the boss we fight in Cap Kingdom, we'll see him a bit later. He just has a lot more green hats on his head. But fortunately for us, that boss doesn't change that much. The shape of the arena is the only thing that changes, but doesn't matter, as we can just quick cycle.
And that would matter if you were playing that casually, because he bounces off the walls of the arena during his phase when he's inside the hat. So it would change how he bounces off the walls, of course.
Yep. And can't really see that there, but there is a crate down there with a moon, and you know, the great and awesome motion controls enable us to just kind of pick that up.
Yep, using a homing cap throw to break it open.
Looks like the runners are still just a couple of minutes apart here, just from my sense of how the timings work. But
probably, it's between a minute or two. I don't think it's 2 minutes.
Alright. We'll get some official timings here. Let's just say Jelluh hit that checkpoint pull at 54:14. So we'll see when SoundDefense hits it.
Okay.
But still a really close race. You can easily lose 2 minutes in the next couple of kingdoms.
We'll also see which room he's going to go for. He's going to go for the lava bubble room, as opposed to the forks room.
Yep. The only route difference you'll see in Luncheon Kingdom is which room, secret room, out of the two available, the runners will choose to go for. They're both the same speed. It's really just personal preference. and they're both on the route, so there's no time loss going for one over the other.
I believe forks can be a bit faster, actually. Not sure.
I think if you do, if you do it optimally, that requires like motion controls, and most people don't like that. So
it's certainly a safer room. Got some unlucky RNG with those pans before there from Jelluh.
yeah, if motion control shaking there, they'll throw a lot farther and faster, and if you're just pressing the button, they'll throw shorter and a little bit more accurate. But they're still just fly where they fly. So unfortunately, missing for a few seconds there, but not too bad. Again, still a lot more to go.
Okay, maybe it is a 2-minute difference.
Yeah, I was going off my split times usually when I look over at timers, so it's all dependent on how they executed the round and stuff, but not that bad.
Yeah, 56:20, so that's 2 minutes 4 seconds.
I'll just say 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's basically 2 minutes. SoundDefense also going for the lava bowl room, which is what Jelluh just finished up.
Yep. So we won't get to see the forks room today, unfortunately.
It's a fun room.
I like it. I do it because I think that the one jump in the Potober room is hard.
At the end?
Yeah, that one, and then the dash from the secret moon to getting back on that small platform. I've died there a couple times, so I've just not tried it.
Jelluh having a bit of trouble getting that last moon, or grand moon, multi-moon, whichever one you want to call it.
And it's the easiest grand moon to collect in the game, I would say. It's kind of just like do the story and then get here and then jump like 2 times and here's your multi-moon or grand moon. You don't have to fight a boss or anything. And so, you know, we take that as speedrunners definitely faster, so
yeah, I don't think there is an easier 3 moons to get in this kingdom. Nothing will ever replace that in this route.
nope.
Unless we just skip this kingdom altogether.
And yeah, if there's a sequence skip found, but
You never know.
yeah. I also don't think we even. I think we have to do the story progression because a lot of the moons don't spawn. I guess we wouldn't have to do the meat specifically, but we definitely have to fight the first brutal because nothing. That entire cheese section and like that half of the kingdom, just the moons aren't there until you do the story.
Well, that's the case for a lot of the kingdoms. Certain moons just don't spawn until you do something else in the kingdom.
So you can be sure that that meat moon is going to stay in the run for a pretty long time.
Good. It's fun to capture a piece of meat. It's always good to remember that if you ever find yourself being a piece of meat, you can press B to shake.
Yep. Gets hit in the boss. Doesn't make a huge difference. There's a ton of hearts around, but oof. See if he can get to the keys in time here. Nice. If you do wait too long, the boss will become electrified, I should say, and then will like shoot you off. I don't know the right word for it, but you definitely want to make sure that you get there in time, especially on this last cycle.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't die here. You know, there are some small enemies that do spawn, so gotta be careful. Gotta be careful.
Okay. He became electrified again.
Exactly what I was talking about there.
You actually do still hit the... If you have enough health for it, rather. You would... If you do the ground pound while it's electrified, you actually do still get the... It still takes the damage. But if you're gonna die, you just die first before being able to do that damage.
Yeah. So good thing it didn't happen there, but yeah.
No, we'll see SMO do this fight.
That's a pretty simple fight.
One runner enters, one runner leaves.
By my super precise, awesome, amazing calculations, just aka guesswork, I'd say they're around 2.5 minutes apart at this point.
I'll trust you this time. So it is also fastest to actually get damaged by the electric on his head to then be able to immediately go into throwing your cap at the spires or whatever they're called.
They're like keys, but not really, because they just kind of stick into his head. So, Jelluh's on Bowser's Kingdom here, and for most people it's the hardest kingdom, but I know at least for me, I think it's the most fun layout to it.
I enjoy it aesthetically, so running it, I probably wouldn't really care.
A couple minutes of platforming and some required story moons, as you'll see here. Then we jump into a couple of boss fights, a little bit more platforming, and then another boss fight. So there's a lot of action, definitely a lot of places to mess up, which means a lot of places to save time if you do it perfectly.
Yeah. So aside from the story moons, we'll be getting 2 moons that aren't required for the story, rather. Because that's how many moons you need to be able to get to the next kingdom.
You won't see the outline on the top near the coins, and I'm actually not sure why it doesn't show.
I believe it's because, story-wise, you expect that, like, oh, I'm gonna fight Bowser here. And then you find out, oh, Bowser's not here. Where is he? He's on the moon. Well, we need 2 more moons to get to the moon.
It makes sense when you think about it, because I know when I fully played through the game, my friends and I, we just got all the moons in every single kingdom ever before moving on. They occurred to us that would be the reason why that wasn't there. But that does make sense.
Yeah, it makes the most sense in my mind that it's just because story-wise you don't know that you have to go past this kingdom. Has some trouble sticking his nose into places it shouldn't belong.
That gives us a moon, so you know.
Hey, you don't know what's in that hole.
I mean, there's a moon, that's for sure, but...
Well, you don't know what else is in that hole.
It's just a moon.
It's so dark, you don't know. It's grimy. I mean, we call it the glory hole. Like, we don't know what's in there. What? What'd you say?
Yeah. Well, don't know what's in there, but we definitely call it the glory hole for a reason.
Yeah.
Just get his 2 spare moons there. So it's just gonna be some story and then the Moon Kingdom.
So now on to Harriet and then Topper. You can also do Topper and then Harriet. Doesn't matter. It's preference, really. But Harriet's a very easy boss. Topper is gonna be a bit of a challenge for any runner.
This part of Harriet here is getting the accuracy on the bombs back to her face. That hurts.
Yeah, so that lost a bit of time there, not being able to get the UFO form right away. Oh, and missing the first bomb throw.
Oof.
So yeah, the only real concern, other than time, once you mess that up, is that it creates some lava on the stage, but it's easily avoidable, so even messing it up, it's not that hard to recover.
Yep, and it does not matter which brutal you choose to go for, because you're gonna have to do both. So it's really just runner's preference on whether they go for Harriet or Topper first.
Yeah, completely. That kind of sucked.
Ooh, that's not good, yeah. I personally go for Topper first, and I was about to say because I don't grab this checkpoint here, and so if I do come out of the fight with like 1 heart, and just to be safe, I'll grab the checkpoint to heal myself.
That's not a bad idea. Although a lot of these hats can give you hearts. And my oh no, or I was unlucky, was actually to TheSoundDefense. He threw a cap at a Pokio, and then it fell off the edge of the world, so that he had to go get the other Pokio.
I didn't even see that. That is unfortunate. I've done that a couple times, but yeah. Come on, Jelluh, don't die again, please. Please, please. Okay.
Ah, there it is. Okay.
Second try, not too bad, but it's gonna give TheSoundDefense just a little bit more time to catch up. So, like you
Hitbox
said,
for that moon didn't want to cooperate.
just like you said earlier, as one runner leaves, the other enters. TheSoundDefense entering the boss fight as Jelluh exits.
And now for a pretty precise jump here. Triple jump into Cappy Dive, wall jump, and Cappy Dive.
Well executed there.
Oh
my god!
Oh! Almost ground pounded right into the void.
So that was a misplaced ground pound, and he meant to ground pound, but you can actually shake the remote or press Y to dive out of a ground pound. So I'm not sure if that was either Jelluh just having insane reaction times there because of that ground pound, or if it meant to be a dive and just the game ate the input. Close.
Yeah. I'm gonna chalk it up to good reaction time just to give Jelluh some extra points there.
We'll see if we can keep those extra points going into Mecha Brutal here. I'd say it's the hardest boss to do perfectly. Go for
And looks
it.
like he's going for not birdless, just regular. And missing the bomb. He's gonna have to wait for the next bomb throws.
See him here take out this first Brutal, and with some nice just sort of running back into the Mecha Brutal here. Poke on the side and then be able to resist these shockwaves here with just some nice cap dives.
Yeah, so it's just proper positioning before hitting that brutal, so that you are ready to poke your nose right back into the brutal, into the mecha brutal.
So gets on for the third cycle here. This one is the most important to get on, as he's kind of running around here, so you want to manipulate that a bit, and also barely gets it there for the third cycle, so we'll see if he has enough height to get back on. Looks like he might.
Oh! So yeah, that face, the face of the Mecha Brutal can always be a bit of a troll.
The ground
and now this part being a troll as well, as the Mecha Brutal can end up moving out from underneath you while you try to ground pound it.
Decent mech fight. It didn't fall off once, so that's good, but also could have done a couple things better.
Still lost a bit of time while doing it.
Hence, not dying on that brutal there is gonna give him a little bit of a time to catch up here, especially if he does go for birdless. So he's around a minute and a half behind due to my guesswork there, but so anywhere between a minute and 2 minutes here.
And a part of some of my tips that from in race scenarios that aren't being taken, but apparently not affecting much, as okay, Sound Defense nails the birdless onto the top of the mech. Let's see if he stays on top. But anyway,
nice.
Grabbing checkpoints in a race is definitely something that I say is very important. But I've seen these runners skipping some checkpoints and then not mattering at all, so I guess just ignore my advice, I guess. Because it didn't matter to these runners. Now that we have no checkpoints left at this point, I don't think.
One. I mean, there's no way you're gonna die. Have to use the checkpoint. I don't think I've ever seen anyone die. But like while attempting moon skip. Actually, never mind. I have. Just kidding.
I've seen it too. More so once you get done with moon skip, because a lot of people will then jump back over the gap that you just cleared to get to the bridge
on PB pace. I don't like to think about it, but it's happened. So Jelluh's just starting the Moon Kingdom here in Sound Defense with a really nice Mecha Brutal fight, so it's gonna bring him a bit closer. Catching up, but as long as Jelluh doesn't make some major mistakes here, he should. Yeah, as I say that.
Oh.
That's the commentator's curse in action. Not gonna put him in the.
First time I've ever seen anyone fail that jump.
Speed run.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Let's see if we can get it this time here. Got the distance. Well, small mistakes here in Moon Kingdom, they will add up, so bringing Sound Defense closer here to catching up. Still a very close race.
Yeah, and failing Moon Cave skip enough times could also help.
Still a hard trick, and especially with the race nerves, you know, I definitely have experience just on PB pace or just in a race really close. Yeah.
I don't believe he is on PB pace, but yes, it's still a hard trick. Nails it first try. And then doing that jump over the gap you just cleared to get onto the bridge that I was talking about before.
I'd say a minute and a half between the runners, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I probably would call that the scariest jump in the game, for me at least. I know there are more difficult jumps than having to go back over that gap, but it is just so, like, just so risky and just so annoying if you fail. So it just like it becomes just something that I just don't like watching anyone do. You work so hard to get to the top of that mountain, and then just to fall off it potentially.
So Sound Defense not dying in Moon Kingdom so far, so it's gonna put him gaining some time here. First try and readjust his position here. Messing up a little bit, but not too bad, not as bad as a death.
Yeah, so Sound Defense was getting a bit out of control with the Rocket Flower, so he chose the ground pound to get out of the Rocket Flower. And then just grab another one.
Moon skip first try. Sent. A little bit too far right there. Gonna lose 5-10 seconds. Might be a little bit too far right again. Nope, he's got it.
That's it. Yeah, I hold my breath every time.
On the last cycle here for Bowser. Cycle skip, nice dive.
Yep, only way that he was able to get to Bowser there in time to get the cycle skip.
And you can actually dive using this hat. And most people, I know I didn't even think to try it, because for most captures, at least pressing the, which is used for diving and rolling,
yeah,
you from that capture. But you know, apparently the hat's different. So
yeah, that hat, I believe, pretty much all your standard movement that you would have without that capture is still possible to do.
for things like jumping off your cap and stuff. But yeah.
Any sort of just regular jumps, nothing involving the cap.
Yeah. So the only thing standing in between Jelluh here and this race victory is the escape sequence.
And messing up that triple jump. So having to go around the long way to this top sequence.
And as long as he doesn't choke here on the 2D section, he'll win, as this is the hardest part of the escape sequence coming up.
Yeah.
I would definitely take it slow here if I was him.
Yeah, plenty of people die in this section.
Looks like he's gotten past the hard part. Gotta nail that jump. Nice.
I'm expecting some sour pleases as we enter the last part of this of the game.
Our game, guys. That's right. We're about to finish Super Mario Odyssey in just under an hour and 20 minutes.
Of course, there's other stuff to do, but yeah, this is the end of the any percent route.
Fireballs here to break these pillars a bit faster, but
yeah, each one I believe has 5 hits. It's either 4 or 5 hits.
I think it's 5.
Okay. So yeah, you try to get as many fireballs to hit it before going over there and doing it yourself, and then breaking with your claws. This one has been found to be fastest if you just do it all with fireballs and then go to the middle. Sound Defense getting the triple jump that I was talking about earlier.
Will not matter though, as Jelluh is going to win this race. Time 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 20 seconds. And
I believe that's about 3 minutes slower than his PB.
minutes. It's 3 minutes and 42 seconds to be exact, but
yeah. And given what Sound Defense said earlier, he could PB here.
well, what did you say his PB was earlier?
126 something.
Yeah, definitely on PB pace, even if he dies once or twice or 3 times.
No, do not want to see that at all.
6 minutes to work with here.
I will remind all runners that if you're at this point and you die a few times, you still want to finish it out, because in the tournament, if you forfeit, it counts as 2 hours added to your time. We make the rate. We just call that the time that you finished that race in was 2 hours, automatically. So you just, if you're this far, just finish it.
Yep, and looks like SoundDefense is doing just that. So it's just a few slashes and then victory. Not victory, but
PV.
really nice PV, yeah, like 5 minutes.
It's a good 5-minute PV, yeah.
Gonna start.
I'm from SoundDefense 1:21:11.
GG.
I'm here for a quick interview, but awesome races, awesome runs from both racers here, I should say.
Yeah, good fight from SoundDefense.
Speaking of SoundDefense, here he is.
Hello. Hi.
Congrats on the PB.
Thank you. Holy crap, my hands are shaking.
What do you think of the run? Obviously, pretty good.
Well, I cannot be upset with a 5.5-minute PB. I'm gonna tell you that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, yeah, I am glad that I brought it close. I didn't think that I could win, but I'm impressed that I was able to bring it as close as it was, and really happy that I didn't die as many times as I did in the last race. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this.
Some time. This is a really close race, really fun to watch. So
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Definitely closer than some other races that we have seen so far.
Yeah, my last race was 17 minutes apart, I think. That was 2 days ago.
Yeah, a lot closer here, but I was going to ask you, as you try to work down your time in the future, if you will, what do you think are some things that you could improve on the most?
It's at this point, I think I'm starting to get to the point where I need to really optimize just my general movement around the world. Like, I heard you guys mentioning that I was not like using motion controls for rolls. Like, I just did not know that it was faster if you did that. I thought it was the same speed, so I didn't bother. So it's going to be like really starting to fine-tune moving from moon to moon instead of just sort of clumsily making my way around.
Yeah, and your time's definitely at a point now, especially with the 121, where it's like 15 minutes away from world record and like 8 minutes away from some really nice times, where it's just practicing some general movement as you got the routes down, you know where all the moons are and everything. You just have to practice general movement, getting triple jumps down, cap jumps down, short dives like that. It'll just help improve your overall game. And then if you do still realize that once doing that, there are a couple of kingdoms that you're struggling on, then definitely practice those individually. Times make some save files there, but
yeah, definitely
movement.
Definitely just fully understanding your movement that you can do.
Yeah, I think I'm getting a lot better at being like consistent about the major skips. So yeah, it's just learning the movement. But you know, I have several months. My goal here, probably sounding ridiculous, is to take this game to SGDQ. But no, I think with sufficient practice, I could maybe be a contender there.
I mean, that's a great goal, obviously.
Yeah, you can work towards it. Definitely, at least you could be part of being there. Like SGDQ is easy enough to attend. But yes, definitely getting it down to a good time would be the first step to getting there.
Right. Like I'm not making it with a 121, but I don't know. That's what's going to be driving me over the next few months. I know it's a long shot, but I'll give it a try. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
It's a really nice goal to have, yeah. Jelluh did say it's a bit late for him, time zones and all, so he won't be joining us, but I'd just like to say
It's
great
combining.
run.
It's a combining factor of that'd be a combining factor of getting your time down and also getting well known in the Super Mario Odyssey speedrunning scene.
Yeah, I'm hoping that maybe one will lead to the other, though it's going to be a lot more streaming than I'm doing now, which is none.
And so, again, congrats on the PB. You had a really nice mecha fight there. It was perfect. A lot of really nice things in the run.
Yeah, I was like, I'm glad my mic was not on because I was like stomped the floor. I think in excitement.
Yeah,
Definitely be proud of that fight, yeah. Especially on PB pace, nerves and everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I just like concentrate on better movement, getting good at different boss fights. Two cycling Mecha Brutal, Mecha Wiggler, excuse me.
Yeah, the Mecha Wiggler fight drove me insane because like at some point like the fire button just wouldn't fire, and I don't really understand what the mechanic was there. So that's
there's
something
an
I'm gonna have to study.
overheating. There's an overheat mechanic to the tank, so if you fire too many cannonballs in a row, the tank will just overheat, and you'll be delayed until you can hit the next one.
Oh, that explains that. All right.
So yeah, you can't get trigger happy.
All right. Well, these are the things. Like I was listening to you guys commentate while I was running. And that's why I started motion rolling partway through the run. I don't know if that's cheating or not.
Technically, no. I guess
right.
us giving tips is still okay.
All right. Well, now I know a few more tips, and I'll try and. I've got one more race. I can't advance in the tournament at this point, but I'm hoping I can at least get one win under my belt.
Again, great work. Awesome to see a PB there, especially a close race. Think we'll be signing off here. Definitely drop a follow to both runners here, Jelluh, who unfortunately couldn't join us, and TheSoundDefense. You can definitely see the work they put into their times and all that.
Also drop follows to the us commentators as well if you want.
Not required, but
No, we appreciate it still.
And I mean, you're here, so you're probably already followed a Speed Gaming, but if you're not, definitely follow them. Give them huge props for just running this tournament. There's so much going on behind the scenes that we get to see a little bit of it here as commentators and runners, but there's so much setting up their restreams, formatting everything, making sure stuff's going on time. And they have to handle all that with 4 channels.
Yes, all the mods that handle all this stuff work very hard to make what you see here. So it's good to support them if you can. So yeah, with that I'd say GG to both runners. GG TheSoundDefense.
Thank you. Great commentary, both of you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
No problem. And with that, I think we'll be wrapping it up. Sure, what's next on the